Martin, did you watch the Everton game last night?
Well, I was pinging around Jim from match to match.
Yeah, of course. Tottenham playing Man U.
Bournemouth. Capitulation from Everton. Quite stunning.
It was.
The fans exiting the stadium. Isak's dribble and run. Terrible.
Unbelievable. Did you see it, Simon?
I did the same as Martin. I had an interest in seeing how Tottenham performed and if they would do it in front of their own fans, which of course I knew the players wouldn't. And so I was flipping back because of the timings, and obviously the Tottenham game kicked off 20 minutes, half an hour later than the Everton game.
Yeah.
So I got to see Everton competing in the game for a period, and then I got to see Newcastle take it away from them, as much as Everton weren't good enough to compete with them.
Well, I mean, Evertonians all over the country this morning, Martin, must be depressed. They must be heads down because it's now one win in the last 10. And there's a couple of questions coming out of this, Martin. Well, there are many questions coming out of it. One, are they heading for the championship? You know what they might be. What's happened to the Sean Dyche factor and the key difference of that Goodison crowd? Dyche spoke afterwards. For those who don't know, and there must be very few if you follow football, Newcastle did a job in Everton last night. 4-1 they won. The final goal, the fourth goal, was an incredible bit of individual skill from Isak leading up to the finish. But Sean Dyche spoke post-match. It's heads down, all right.
Very disappointing in the end. I thought the first half we did everything that I wanted, other than concede, did everything that I thought was right about the performance against a good side in Newcastle. Mixing our play, the energy, pressing. I thought it was all there. Other than the goal, like I say, I think we could have prevented that earlier on in the move, but we scored a near goal, obviously, with a fine bit of play just for half time. And then second half we started bright, but as soon as the second goes in, which is a really poor goal defensively, and then it's how quickly the game gets away, and we can't let that happen. It happened against Fulham, and the whole performance changed on one goal, and it happened again tonight, so we've got to correct that very quickly.
Martin, you mentioned the word capitulate. Is that the biggest worry that they've got? That they seem to call time in a game long before the 90 minutes are up?
Yeah, and at home, Goodison faithful there. Usually, I mean, the atmosphere was amazing. To see what happened, as I say, I was flicking from channel to channel.
Yeah.
Jim, when you look at their fixtures and you think, well, the game now against Leicester is just absolutely enormous. Huge pressure.
That's Monday, isn't it? It's live on talkSPORT.
Incredible.
Yeah.
There's Brighton to follow, Man City, Wolves, Bournemouth. Where's that win going to come from? It's going to have to be another incredible finish like it was last year. They're in real trouble, Jim.
I mean, I think the luck's running out. That's a problem. It's 69 consecutive seasons in the top flight, Simon, for Everton. But is this the time they buckle and go down?
Well, they're in a difficult moment, in a difficult position. But they've still... I mean, I think 34, 35 points will get you into safety. And albeit that looks like there's a variety of teams that are picking up form. Forest have got a win, their first win in a significant period of time. And Leicester have got a little bit of momentum that peaks and troughs. I still would not write Everton off, not because I want to, not because I want to alight upon the observation that I've made that Sean Dyche is the saviour. I still think they're better as a result of Sean Dyche than they would have been if Frank Lampard had stayed. I think they'd be gone now if Frank was. They'd already be gone without the fact they've got 5 games to go.
What are you seeing, Simon, that maybe Evertonians aren't seeing?
I don't think you can't price into the outcome yesterday. The Goodison Fortress is one thing, but when you're playing a team like Newcastle United that are in an irresistible vein of form, they've just handed Spurs their backside 6-1.
Yeah.
There was no surprise that in the game that they gave, I would not have picked Everton to win last night, irrespective of the fact they needed to win. And there was a big emphasis on the fact that people wanted them to win and expected some better outcome. Newcastle are the form team in the division at this moment in time, alongside Manchester City. And a team that can turn up and do a number on anyone at any given time, and might have even challenged Man City at this moment in time because of the confidence and belief that these players have.
Sure.
So with that in mind, you can't denote the outcome of Newcastle. I watched the game. I thought Everton competed for a period of time, and then it got away from them. Then the game got away from them, and Callum Wilson scores a great goal and takes it further away from them.
True. And then that was it. Yeah, there was no coming back.
Jim, it is a bum fight though down there, isn't it? When you look at all the other fixtures, the players down, you just got to get the points you need to scramble out to safety.
You always tell us, Martin, I mean, obviously Arsenal was your club, but you were so proud to pull on the Everton shirt as well, and the Villa shirt, but with Everton, you had a good relationship with the fans.
It's a very together club.
And you've told me often about the passion
Definitely,
that they have for their football club.
Great history, great rivalry with Liverpool, great people that exist there, great teams over the years, so they're a very proud club. and they wouldn't want to go down. Of course they wouldn't, but I mean Leeds are the same. When you start looking at the other teams' fixtures, you think, well, where's the win coming from, Jim? Because Leeds just have to play Man City, Newcastle, West Ham, Spurs as well. You know, they're all very difficult situations. So you've got to get your act together.
Of all of them, would
Everton is worrying at the moment the way that they're playing, Jim.
Would they be the biggest name to drop? You just think Everton's synonymous with top flight, but maybe this time, God, they've gone.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester's a big one as well, Jim. You know, when you look at the money that they're turning over, they're in the top 20 wealthiest clubs in the world. You know, most of the Premier League clubs are, I know.
It tends to happen, doesn't it? The more you flirt with the bottom of the table, eventually it catches you. And you see teams, now Everton have flirted with it, and they got away with it last year. And so it does feel like if you keep on staring into the abyss, eventually you'll be in it. And it looks to me that Everton have got a tall order on their hands. And you look at Forest and you think, well, Forest were gone in my mind. Then they get a result that was a perfect timing. Fate comes into play. Brighton play an FA Cup semi-final. They get knocked out, and after 120 minutes and penalties, they come to the next game. They're not the same Brighton has been playing all season. So Forest do a number on them. Then they get Brentford. Brentford have got not that much to play for. Then they've got the big game. And who have they got? Bottom of the table, Southampton. At Nottingham Forest, the fortress that Nottingham Forest will rely on, and you'd expect Forest to take that game and win it because of the sheer nature of that game. And all of a sudden, Forest are out of the mix because they've got 6 points out of a possible 9 and 12, and the game's afoot.
Yes.
And Leicester and Leeds and Everton are the ones that are starting to look like the real.
Yeah. So what about a Sean Dyche factor, Sam? We haven't seen it,
but I think we have seen it. Unfortunately, what we've got is a situation where we can't compare something that's now gone. My argument would be, if they'd have left it with Frank Lampard, they would now be gone. So Dyche has given them a puncher's chance by the very nature of him being there.
But I've got to say, with respect, Simon, how relevant is that? Because they're still scrapping for the very life.
Because they'd be gone. Because we'd be talking about 33 games, Everton on 21 points, and Everton sitting in, or 22 or 23 points, sitting in the bottom of the table, looking at no other space besides the Championship. Now they've still got a chance with a manager that knows his way around this part of the division, that's got the fortitude and the resilience to overcome certain things. And he needs people like Calvert-Lewin and other players to start turning up now.
Yeah, so the next fixture away at Leicester is the one that they have to look at. And
they have a point.
But Brighton, Man City, Wolves, Bournemouth, do you want to be going to Bournemouth to have to win that game to stay up?
If it's the last game of the season and Bournemouth are already safe... Where are their players' mentality? Are their players' mentality, I'm a professional footballer, I'll do my job, but have I got to do that extra bit, that staring into the abyss, I'll fight anyone to win mentality? Everton will have it.
Yes.
Their fans will have it, but Bournemouth won't, because Bournemouth are almost out now. They're almost done. It's
but it might be over by the last game of the season.
Fixture.
It could be over by the last game of the season, Simon.
Well, listen, if you've got 28 points and we're talking about 34, and you can nick 2 or 3 points out of the next 4 games preceding that, which maybe you can beat Wolves, maybe you can get a point at Leicester.
Yeah.
Then you get 3 points at home to stay up, because 35 points will keep you up.
Oh.
Well, you know what? I mean, Dyche will take this.
I don't know. H in Chester is an Evertonian. Guys, we've gone. And on top of that, we'll be heading further down the leagues with these people running the club at the moment. Until there are changes from the very top down, we are stuffed. Is that the case? Is that the way Evertonians are looking at it this morning? You're invited by us. Come on and join us this morning, because to say the least of it, you are in an extremely precarious position. And Everton, synonymous with the Premier League, but for how much longer? 03717 223344 81089.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.